Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show. We are pleased to have in the studio with us today Anna Hutz, owner and instructor. Pronounce the name of your business.
It's Namaste Fitness.
Okay, very good. Namaste?
Namaste.
Okay, and does that come from any point? Is it a certain type of background in that? Is it?
Well, it's Sanskrit, so it's from India, and our idea was to fuse fitness and yoga. That's what we offer in our studio. So we thought, what name could kind of mix both? So we figured Namaste, people recognize it by like the end of your class, you'll say Namaste, and then fitness, like right there. And that's exactly what we are. We're like a good fusion of both.
So what got you into this? Have you been interested in this when you were a young kid, when you were in middle school, in high school, college? It just all of a sudden there was an epiphany?
An epiphany,
oh,
yes.
My goodness.
I worked for banking for 8 years. My husband has been in banking or almost 30 years.
Okay.
And so that was my life. For 8 years, I was a bank manager. And then I had my kiddos. We got married. We had our kids. My kids are 11 months apart. So I gained some weight and I thought I'm going to exercise. Never before, didn't own tennis shoes, would never step at a gym. That was not my life. So then when I had my kids, I started walking. I looked for fitness classes. I found yoga and that was it. And so as I was practicing, I thought, wow, this is really cool. Imagine if I can do it one day for others. And so at the studio I was at the time, they were turning into a franchise and they offered us to buy it. So that's where the journey started. We were going to buy that franchise. Long story short, a week before we got our keys, they told us, no, never mind, we're not going to sell.
Oh my goodness.
So I had already done all the research on how to run a yoga studio, fitness studio. So 2 weeks later, I found the spot where we're in right now. And it's been 7 years now. And I got certified in everything, yoga, Pilates, fitness, therapeutic yoga, all kinds of things. And now we're turning 7 on our first location, and we just turned 1 in our second location.
Oh my goodness, congratulations. So where's the first location?
Our first location's in Otay Ranch at the Otay Ranch Town Center.
Okay.
And the second one is 10 minutes down the street in Eastlake.
In Eastlake, okay, so both in sort of South County, correct?
Yeah.
Very good. Are you looking to expand our neck of the ways?
Yes, we've been looking at Mission Valley. We've been looking at Juan Paseo area, Del Mar, and even up here by Carroll Canyon.
Okay. Now, when you do this, are you yourself personally or your husband, is he still doing banking?
He's still in banking.
All right, so so he probably doesn't have the time to be training all the people.
Exactly.
Is that what you do? Do you train their fitness instructors, I imagine?
Yeah, we do yoga training, fitness training, different modalities of yoga. So I hold probably 4 or 5 trainings a year. And some of our instructors have been trained with us. Some of them come from other places, but we do trainings and workshops and then about 230 classes a week total.
My goodness. So here you are, not too long before you're a bank manager, right? Did you have any clue what you were getting into when you started this?
Not much. I enjoyed yoga. I enjoyed fitness. I enjoyed how I felt and how I relieve stress in that sense. But I was a stay-at-home mom. I quit the bank. And then the next year is when this journey started. And I think all that banking and finance and my major in marketing has helped us grow this business. It's not that easy because it's not just the business part. It's a lot of emotional and, customer service.
Right, exactly. Did you bring any of your banking clients into the business?
I have a couple.
All right, that sounds good. Of course, we're in a financial institution as we do this. We're chatting with Anna Hutz. She is the owner and instructor of Namaste Fitness. celebrating their 7th anniversary. Got 2 locations now. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest running community podcast. We're in our 19th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. 6 decades of doing great things for folks living in San Diego County, food insecurity, financial literacy, homeless, the arts. They are involved in absolutely everything. So cool. You got a wellness festival coming up September 13th. In partnership with Lululemon, and you're going to benefit Make-A-Wish. Talk about that.
There's not enough time for me to talk about Make-A-Wish. I talk about it all the time. I am not,
Okay.
not yet.
Okay.
I am a volunteer. I'm a fundraiser. I'm a volunteer, and I got into it in 2023. My husband was diagnosed with colon cancer, stage 3C. So we had it right in the family, right? Like we were a cancer family.
Sure.
And that was 2021. He's fine now. 2 years later, that year we started doing charity events and participating with our students for Make-A-Wish. So once we got a little more involved, they invited me, you should volunteer. And with 2 businesses, 2 kids, a husband, a house, all of that wonderful stuff.
You got 1 hour. I get 1 hour a month.
Yeah, I do. And that was 2023. And they said, just try to help 1 child per year. Right now I'm going on 15 kids in the last 2 years. And I love it. And I see it. I see where the money goes from the fundraisers. I see the families. I'm completely involved in the process. And it's just the hope that Make-A-Wish brings for the families and the kids and the change they can see through their treatment is massive, and it's so worth it. And that's why through my business, I figured I have a space to help more.
Yeah, no, Make-A-Wish is a great organization. We featured them on our Spotlight show, several times on this. And certainly the stories are heartwarming and sometimes heart-crushing when you hear these. But that's great that you folks, you step up to the date. September 13. It's, Namaste On The Run. Are there people still signing up for it?
Yes, we're still looking for people to sign up. We're at 3 weeks. We are partnering with Lululemon because I am the Lululemon ambassador one of the Lululemon ambassadors in San Diego.
Nice.
And as part of that, I figured, how can I contribute more? And they gave me the opportunity to apply for this grant to have a festival. And we got chosen out of like 100 applicants. And we're going to do our best. And we're bringing the people, we're getting the funds. Our goal is $20,000. We're at about 15,000 right now.
Congratulations.
It feels great. So
Right, exactly. So what would you say, now here you come from a banking background, so obviously you understand finance. You understand that it's probably better to not spend more money than you're making. But, sometimes when you start a business, that's part of the game, right? And all that aspect of it. But what would you say is the greatest learning you've done since you started 7 years ago? Finance, you got that down pretty good. Anything surprise you? Whoa, my goodness, this is not as easy as I thought it was. Human resources? Was it in operations? What was it?
Human resources. We have about 53 employees.
Oh, my goodness.
When I was a bank manager, I had, maybe 15 employees at a branch, trying to really share who I am genuinely with everybody, right? So they know where I come from. And this business is not just about making a living. It's really about changing people's lives. And so to find that balance of, I'm your boss, I have to tell you what to do, but hey, I love you also, and I want us to do great things together. So we don't have a lot of students and people that leave us. Mostly it's people coming into us. That's how we've grown to 53 employees.
Wow.
But
huge.
It is challenging to make sure that everything is like running like a well-oiled machine.
Right. Now, are you open, what time of days, hours?
7 days a week, 5 a.m. We start for classes.
Okay.
All the way through 9 p.m. on Monday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 6 a.m. to 1 p.m.
My goodness. Do you have like a daycare for kids? For moms and dads that will need to have their little, 6-month-old or whatever the age
Yes.
is?
Yeah. We start taking them at 6 weeks old when doctors like, okay, you can work out. And we have on both our facilities, we have the child care.
That's huge.
All our staff is, doulas, teachers, grandmas, like people that love kids. And we have kids yoga classes throughout the week. So that's, I started with my kids being 4 and 5. So I knew that I needed that help to work out.
Right, exactly. So what has this done for you personally and your husband, of course, mentally? We know that unless you live in a different solar system, the mental crisis that we have in this world, for that matter, is absolutely huge that we've never seen before. Obviously, what you do in your business helps calm that down quite a bit. How about for you personally?
I think it made me a more patient person, for sure. We have, 225 to 3,000 students coming a week to our studios. So just learning from them. I tell them all the time in my classes, thank you for coming and teaching the class. Even though I'm the teacher in front of the room, I'm learning from everybody through all the journeys, through COVID, where we had to completely change the way that we did business, financially, getting everything together. And just juggling everything. I think the multitasking portion, the patience, and most of all, to know that sometimes the things that you do, you don't see the result right away, but you have to understand that it's worth it in the long run.
All right, we're chatting with Ann Hutz. She's the owner and instructor of Namaste Fitness. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest-running community podcast, now in our 19th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. When we come back from break, I want to talk about your recent fundraiser that you just did a couple days ago, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yes.
See how that went. And then, talk about, think about this, here it is, just nailed it for 7 years. You probably do it for another 7 and then another 7 and another 7 and all that aspect of it. But think about where you'd love to be in, let's say, 10 years from here, okay, when we return with Anna Hutz of Namaste Fitness. We will be right back after this short message.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. Thrilled to have in the studio with us today Anna Hutz. She is the owner and instructor of Namaste Fitness. We just talked about, before break, you did a fundraiser a couple of days ago. Talk about that. That was at Chick-fil-A, right?
We did. Chick-fil-A is amazing. They're huge contributors to Make-A-Wish and the community. So we raised almost $1,000 in 2 hours.
Nice.
Just from eating chicken and our French fries and just doing what we do. Yeah. So that was great. And thank you to everybody that participated. It was awesome.
Right. You're heavily involved in supporting groups like Make-A-Wish and everything else in this. That type of benevolence, did you have that when you were a kid? Your parents were role models? Were they always volunteering? Were they involved with nonprofits? Or was it something you did, during your banking? Or now, listen, you've really taken off since you've been an owner of Namaste?
We didn't. I was born in Tijuana, so I'm from Mexico.
Sure.
We didn't participate in that. I mean, just doing regular things, right?
Right.
But I think as the more that I grew in my career and me and my husband, and we had kids, and especially I think having kids changes you in a different way. It opens your heart in a different way. And I figured if we have the ability to help a little right now, can we help more as we grow financially or just in our careers? And my thing was, if I'm going to be a public person per se in my community, how can I, quote, use that to benefit more than just myself?
Yeah, it's so true. I tell people this, that have a good vibe and a good brand individual, and usually they're the ones that go, it's not about me, it's about X. I said, I understand that. But if you've got a good brand and people like to be with you because they like Anna Hutz, they like what you do, the soul you bring and all that, take advantage of it, because not everybody has a good brand. And the company may have a good brand, but not necessarily the person that does it. So I'm glad that you're doing that. What would you say some of the biggest challenges that are out there? We talked about mental health. What else?
Right now, with body image with our kids, we have anything from kiddos to teenagers, and then adults like me and older. And you see it all across, right? We are a yoga and fitness studio, so a lot of people immediately come to say, I'm here to lose weight, right? That is a very common thing we hear. Quickly, it changes to, I feel amazing, and the losing weight gets in the back burner. It's whatever you're doing is just making you feel good. So it transforms your mind. Yes, we're sweating, we're detoxing. If that's your journey of weight loss, of course, you're going to, progress in it with us, but it just turns into so much more. And I think that's what we need to emphasize now with kids my kids are 7th and 8th grade, starting there, even younger than that. And so as a fitness studio, I think it's, for me, I take it as a huge responsibility to remind people it's not about the weight loss. It's never about the way you look. It's always about the way you feel.
Yeah. And that's just a great lesson for any kid at any age, any adult for that matter, in this. And we know, we've known this for quite a while. It's amazing how we sometimes don't pay attention to it. And also, maybe you can address this. There's been enough been written in social media, how that influence, how, especially young folks who are on it quite a bit. Not that adults aren't on it, they're on it also, but how they look at themselves, because this person looks like this, or this person acts like this. You've got 2 young kids, 7th and 8th graders, and obviously they got a mom and dad that is totally into fitness, and it's how you feel about yourself, not how you necessarily look. That has something to do with it, of course. But talk about that. How do you get people to say, it's more than looks?
So, for example, we see a lot of gyms and studios that have these competitions of inches lost, pounds lost, or, this like biggest loser mentality, right? Like that show.
Right. If
we all, as the fitness community, stop looking at that and really speaking about the non-visible, the non-visual benefits, like the anti-stress. I mean, again, with my husband having cancer, we've been active, moderately active. You're not going to see me taking classes in my studio every day. I don't have time. I try to make as much time as I can. But for him, fit physically, no preconditions, and then a super advanced cancer. But he had a huge amount of stress at work, in banking, and he's in the financial services, retirement planning. COVID hit, business, we had to take loans to stay alive. So that quickly created something physical that came, I think, from emotional and mental. And that's what I try to remind people. These studios are just posting, we see on social media, these new studios coming up, only posting people that look a certain way to promote their brand. We show real people. You can see our social media, our website, real people, all ages, all shapes, all sizes, all colors. Mm-hmm. Why are we still only going for that one specific image to promote fitness?
Yeah, one of these days we'll get it. One of these days we'll get to the point where, mental health is not a stigma. Hopefully we'll get there. I hope it's in my lifetime, so you're very spot on this. And it's probably the same thing that you come across in your banking world, when you sit there and you say, well, who's wealthy? Well, the wealthy person is the one that's comfortable, that spends within their means, and maybe not making $4 billion a year, making a lot less, but they're not in debt, $4 billion, than the one who makes a lot of money and spends three times it, and now is under stress. And to your point, how much research is out there that stress causes cancer, for God's sake? When are we going to drill that into people's heads? Yeah. So what you're doing is you're reducing all these things, and it affects you in so many different ways in life. I think that's great. So for a guy like me who needs to lose some weight, but there's nothing wrong with that on that aspect of it. Right now, you can't see Anna's laughing a little bit over here. But my bottom line is, why would I want to go to Namaste?
We have a wide variety of formats. So if you say, I see all these people coming out with their weights, sweating, I don't want to do that. We have non-heated classes. We have yoga. We have Zumba. We have belly dance. We have different levels of fitness classes and different levels and styles of yoga. So you come for the community because we have, like next week, we have our annual luau. It's a free event. We all come dressed Hawaiian. There's food, there's drinks, I remind our students that we need to have balance. I am a foodie. I love to eat. I will never stop enjoying food, but I will also work out and I will also take my time to de-stress. So you come for the community. You come for that feeling of belonging in that setting that we offer. And you come to just feel good in class, that when you come out, you're just a better person. You're smiling more when you're driving. You're not stressed about traffic. It just gives you, people come and take 4 classes a day sometimes, 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, just because they want to be in that feeling.
Right. So could I put a push on to you and your husband for open the Carroll Canyon, shop as soon as possible?
On it.
Very good. My daughter's getting married in a year. And so I want to be able to fit in something that looks decent in that aspect of it. So I'm going to start working on it, and I'll be able to sit there and maybe put your logo up when I can fit into some decent looking suit and all this. We're chatting with Anna Hutz. She is the owner and instructor for Namaste Fitness. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. The nation's longest running community podcast in our 19th year, brought to you by the fine folks of Mission Fed Credit Union. 6 decades of doing great things for people living in San Diego County. Do you work at the schools quite a bit? Do you, in whether it's Sweetwater schools or Chula Vista schools, and go out, do demonstrations, or talk about, you mentioned a little bit about, you got your 7th and 8th graders, but physical fitness at a young age is so critical.
We've done, when a school invites us, because a lot of our, local schools, our students, their kids are there.
Right.
So we did classes for the wrestling team at a school to stretch them. It was, teenagers. And then I'm always offering all the principals, the teachers, like, hey, call me over. We used to teach toddler yoga at the Chula Vista Public Library down in Bonita.
Right.
But to get into the schools, which I've asked around and I've tried, you have to go through a process. We haven't started that official process. Also in schools, they don't like calling it yoga. Usually it's like stretch and restore, breathing, stretching. But a lot of our teachers that have their kiddos there create groups with the moms, with the teachers. We've done fundraisers for certain schools that they come to our studio to take the class, and then the parents come and pay and the money goes to them. So I would love to be officially in the schools teaching. So that's another challenge we're working on.
We could open some doors with you. We work, one of the other businesses I work with all the school districts in the county. So we know the superintendent of Chula Vista and Sweetwater and South Bay and San Ysidro, and we may get you involved in one of our events that's called Soup Tank. It's like Shark Tank, but we have superintendents make a pitch to the businesses. I'm going to invite you to this. It's October 23rd. Okay. It put on by the Classroom of the Future Foundation. You can see the pitches of these superintendents, and you can be introduced to them if you're interested. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, put that in your mind. Want to remind people that Namaste On The Run is a wellness festival coming up September 13th. It's a benefit to Make-A-Wish San Diego. Where's it going to be?
It's at the Otay Ranch Town Center Mall in Otay, in the parking lot. And we're just asking everybody to sign up through our website, through our app. There's flyers all over. businesses, if they want to donate, we're asking for corporate donations so that we can, send more money to Make-A-Wish. And vendors. We're closing out our vendor registration, but if people want to be part of it, have a booth, bring samples, demonstrations, we're open to that as well.
That's great. What else can our listeners do to support your efforts? Certainly go to the event and take a look at your two fitness areas. What else can they do?
Go to our website, namastefitness.com. We have a page that's called Namaste On The Run, and we have both the options to just directly donate, buy our ticket, even if they just post our flyer on social media, even if they live in San Francisco and Arizona, just post our flyer. Somebody will find it, and it's just to have a good time. It's a fun 5K. I'll be teaching yoga class on stage. We have one of our instructors teaching Pilates, and then meditation, cold plunge, chiropractors, acupuncturists, Sage Wellness, lots of businesses. So it's just a fun day. Bring the kids. Kids are free. We have a kids corner, kids yoga, kids hip hop, a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I asked you this earlier to think about this. It's 10 years from now. Where is Namaste?
Well, Namaste has 5 locations at that point.
Beautiful.
And we are up here, up in northern San Diego.
Above I-8. Very, very good. So Drew can be close to his home to work out on that.
Drew will be there every day. We'll be like, hey, Drew.
Exactly.
And then my goal, and I've been speaking about this for a while, is to turn us into somehow a nonprofit.
Nice.
We had the opportunity a couple of years ago. We were about to start our foundation. Didn't work out right away at that moment. So that's a goal. We do this. I do this. My husband, as I said, he works in financial services. That is our main source of income. This is for the community, for my employees, for my staff. And if we can just use part of the money that our students pay us for good things as a nonprofit, that would be my life's goal.
That's a good shout out the website one more time.
NamasteFitness.com.
What a joy having you come in. This won't be the last time I'm going to have you in. What I'll probably do is somewhere down the road, if you're interested, have you come back in with some, happy clients, maybe some, mom and dads and maybe even a kid or two that have benefited from this if you're interested.
Definitely. I have lots.
I'm very, very good. Hannah Hutz is the owner and instructor for Namaste Fitness. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. Thanks for listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest running community podcast in our 19th year. Brought to you by the fine folks of Mission Fed Credit Union. We hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.